Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to set up your controllers for the 99 Problems RP server, GTA RP server, right? Because I know a lot of people's going to be asking. There's a few people that's realized that you can do it, and I figured this should just be easier to show how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to rewaz.com and you want to download Rewaz, the program, right? You can get a 14-day free trial. It's only $7, so if you like it and it works well for you, just go ahead and buy it. You'll have it forever. I've had it for a few years now, and I use it for a lot of different games on PC. Okay, so, and then I also have a key binding here that I'll share in the description so that you guys can have something to start with and you don't just have to start from scratch, right? And then you can make your edits because you guys have played more than me, so you know more about the bindings than I do. All right. So first and foremost, when you download the program and install it, and you open it, it's going to look like this. And you know, you might have an Xbox controller, so you'll see a picture of an Xbox controller here instead of a PS5 controller, right? So, and then what you want to do is when you download the when you click on the link and you go and you download the profile, you'll just double click on the profile, right, and it'll open it in Rewast, right? And you'll want to save it. You'll name it and save it, right? So the program here is, or the keybind here, or the config, sorry, the config is this FiveM config right here, right? And as you see, what this does is it maps the keyboard and mouse to your controller. And then see right now, you see down here, it says remap is off, which means
Charging battery.
it's not working, right? Sorry, that was my mic. um, so once you set your keybinds how you like them, you'll hit apply. And then once you hit apply, right, remap is on. So the controller will now work as the mouse and keyboard. You can obviously you could still use the mouse and keyboard, but it's going to interact like the mouse and keyboard with the keys that you select, right? So I'm going to show you how to adjust some keys and how they work. On each key, you can see you have a single press, a hold, a double tap, and a triple tap. Don't worry about these two right here. These are just start presses and release presses. You don't worry about those. Just worry about the first four as far as mapping a key to do different commands. I would typically only worry about the first three because triple tapping is a little, you know, you don't really need that many keys. There's enough keys on the controller to be able to map the things that you need without having to use triple tap. So, for instance, on F here, with the when you press F, you know, you have F in the game as your interact. That's how you get in and out of cars, etc. Right? So when you press triangle, that's going to make you do that. And if you're using an Xbox controller, obviously this will be Y, right? And also, I know that here in the middle, that an Xbox controller has less keys, right? I think you would only have these three typically. These two down here aren't going to be there. Um, so that's just something you have to deal with. You have two less keys on the controller, two less buttons, rather, right? So let's look at like the double tap on Y, right? Let's put the phone there. So if you click right here, and then you go down, you can see the middle mouse button is here, and that's how you bring your phone out. So let's map middle mouse button to when you double tap on the Y, right? And then you always want to make sure each key, right? See how all the buttons, no matter which button I go to, right? Outside of the holds and the double presses, but when you're on the single presses, you see that it says unmap is checked. That's what this little circle with the line through it is. This is making sure that the program is not reading the button as a controller button. It's making sure it's reading it as a keyboard command. So you always want to make sure unmap is highlighted orange right here on each of the keys, right? Um, and as you see here, like on the D-pad, I have it set up to where like if you double tap the D-pad to the right, right, it's going to open up your push to talk, and that'll enable you to talk. And then when you double tap it again, it'll close your push to talk, so your voice will be closed from the game at that point. You know, it's just opening and closing your push to talk. So that's a good way to be able to you know, minimize your extra feedback and so forth, and only talk when you want to talk. um, when you hold the D-pad up, you'll see I have X mapped there, which is going to be putting your hands up. If you double tap the left stick in, You're going to get B, which is your point. That's your point emote, right? If you hold D-pad down, it's going to be caps lock. And in the game, if you open up the emotes menu, you can set a favorite emote, and that's binded to caps lock. So anytime you press caps lock, it'll do your favorite emote. So you guys can mess around with that. But any keys, anything that you want to change that you figure out in the game that you do a lot, because I've only been on the server for like 2 hours max, right? Some of you guys have been playing a lot more, so you use a lot more of the keys or you know a lot more of the commands, right? So you may want to change this configuration to fit the way that you're playing the game and the keybinds that you need, right? So and just for instance, like on Square, I just have space for jump, right? You might want to have space to do on the hold. You might want it to do something else, right? I believe reload is on circle. Holding circle is going to be escape, as well as the start button here. The menu button is also escape, so you can back out of things. The D-pad has all the arrows in all directions, so you can use them when you're, say, editing your skin, or you're in your phone and you need to move around with the arrows. You can use the D-pad to do that. Um, yeah, and again, like if you guys find things that you want to be changed, you don't know how to change them, I can change them and then re-upload the configuration, if that helps. I don't know if that'll help, but it's pretty straightforward though. It looks confusing at first, but it's fairly simple in order to, as far as mapping keys. It just looks complex, but once you understand how it's working and how you're doing them, that each key has different types of presses and you can change them, etc., then that's straightforward. The complex part about it would be like what I have on the PlayStation button here, which is a script, right? So if I go to the script here and I go to key combo, you'll see it actually, when you press the PlayStation button on the DualSense controller, it'll actually type in T backslash and then skin and then enter. So it'll put that command in for you automatically just by pressing the button without having to bring up the text box and do it yourself. You could actually just get to your skin by doing that. So, but that's just something I did there. You could do that with anything though. You could remap that any way you wanted to. But that's pretty much it though. So I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up through Discord and I'll help you out.